Stop looking for a sign in the heavens and start looking at the fire still burning in your chest, because the breakthrough you are waiting for is actually waiting for you to realize you already have the keys to the cage. But before we continue, please press the like button to help us bring this content to more people who need extra strength to face life's problems. Now, let's go together. There is a specific kind of cold that settles into the soul when you feel like you are shouting into an empty canyon. It is the silence of God. It is that moment when the bank account is empty, the relationship has crumbled, the health report is grim, and every prayer you send up feels like it hits a lead ceiling and drops back to the floor, shattered. You look for a way out and see only walls. You look for a hand to hold and feel only the wind. This is the void. But I am here to tell you that the void is not a graveyard. It is a womb. It is the place where the version of you that depends on easy answers dies, so that the version of you that possesses unshakable power can be born. When everything is against you, it isn't because you are being punished. It is because you are being prepared. Think of the silence not as an absence, but as a space being held for your own voice to finally be heard. We spend so much of our lives reacting to the noise of the world, the opinions of others, the demands of our bosses, the expectations of our families. When God seems silent, the universe is essentially saying, "Now, what do you have to say? What do you believe when there is no proof? Who are you when the lights go out?" The strength within you is not a fixed quantity. It is like a muscle that only grows through the tearing of fibers. We often pray for the burden to be lighter, but the hidden wisdom of life is that we are actually meant to become stronger. Imagine a bridge designed to carry 10 tons. If you place 20 tons on it, it collapses. But the human spirit is the only structure in existence that, when overloaded, has the potential to rebuild its own foundations to carry 40 tons the next day. This is the miracle of the inner self. Take the story of Viktor Frankl, a man who found himself in the ultimate silence of the Holocaust. He had every reason to believe that the world had ended and that God had turned away. He lost his family, his career, his dignity, and his freedom. Yet, in the middle of that absolute darkness, he discovered something the guards could not touch: his inner strength. He realized that while they could take everything external, they could not take his power to choose his attitude. He created a purpose. It wasn't a grand purpose at first. It was the simple, small purpose of surviving one more hour so he could eventually tell the world what happened. He held on to the dream of seeing his wife again. That small purpose became a lighthouse. When you have no answers, you must create a purpose, even if it is as small as making your bed, or walking to the end of the block, or finishing one page of a book. These tiny anchors keep you from drifting into the abyss. Consider the silence of the desert. Great leaders throughout history, prophets, philosophers, and pioneers, all spent time in the literal or metaphorical desert. Why? Because the desert strips away the non-essential. In the noise of the city, you can pretend to be someone else. In the silence of the desert, you are forced to face yourself. When you feel abandoned, you are actually being audited. Your soul is taking an inventory. What do you actually value? What is left when the luxuries are gone? If you find that you still have your integrity, your curiosity, and your capacity to love, then you have not lost everything. You have found the core. Recall your qualities. When the world tells you that you are a failure because you lost your job or your status, you must reach back into the archives of your life. Recall the times you were kind when no one was looking. Recall the times you worked through the night to solve a problem. Recall the strength it took to walk away from what was breaking you. These are not just memories. They are your weapons. Your faith is not a magic wand that removes obstacles. It is the bridge that allows you to walk over them. Faith is the radical act of believing in the sunrise while it is still midnight. Practical resilience is built in the small moments. When the big answers won't come, look for the small truths. The truth is that you can breathe. The truth is that the sun will rise regardless of your bank balance. The truth is that your past victories prove your future potential. Use these truths to build a ladder. If you can't see the top of the mountain, just look at the next 6 inches in front of your feet. Look at the history of those who changed the world. They all walked through this valley. Think of Thomas Edison, standing amidst the ruins of his laboratory as it burned to the ground. Decades of work, millions of dollars, all gone in an afternoon. Did he curse the silence? No. He told his son to go get his mother and her friends because they'd never see a fire like that again. The next day, he started rebuilding. He remembered his dream. He didn't wait for a miracle. He became the miracle. Think of Nelson Mandela, sitting in a limestone quarry on Robben Island. For 27 years, the world seemed silent to his cause. For 27 years, he was surrounded by stone and salt. He could have let his spirit turn to stone. Instead, he used that silence to study. He used that isolation to master his own anger. He created a purpose to not just free himself, but to free his captors from their own hatred. When he finally walked out, he wasn't a victim. He was a king of his own character. Within every human being, there is a reserve of energy that remains untapped during times of comfort. This is our evolutionary inheritance. Our ancestors survived ice ages, famines, and migrations across continents. That same DNA is in your cells right now. You are the descendant of people who refuse to give up. When you think you have reached your limit, you are likely only at 40% of your true capacity. The remaining 60% is locked behind the gate of your will. The silence you hear is the sound of the universe waiting for you to turn the key. When you feel like there is no way out, remember that a seed must be buried in total darkness, pressured by the weight of the earth, and split completely apart before it can become a tree. The pressure you feel is not the weight of your end. It is the force of your beginning. Your dreams are not coincidences. They are the blueprints of your potential. Hold on to them with a grip that does not slip. If the dream is to be a healer, start by healing your own mourning. If the dream is to be a leader, start by leading your own thoughts away from despair. We often mistake silence for indifference. We think that if God isn't speaking in thunder, He isn't there. But think of a mother watching her child learn to walk. She doesn't carry the child every step. She stands back. She stays silent. She watches the child stumble, not because she is cruel, but because she knows the child must feel the weight of their own legs to gain the strength to run. The silence you feel might be the ultimate sign of respect from the divine. It is the belief that you are ready to stand on your own 2 feet. Recall your qualities. Are you resilient? Are you empathetic? Have you survived the unthinkable before? If you are listening to this, you are a survivor. You have a 100% success rate of getting through your worst days. That is a fact. That is not a motivational sentiment. It is a statistical reality. You have faced the fire, and you are still here. Your inner strength is often masked by your fear. Fear is a loud, vibrating noise that tries to convince you that you are small. But strength is a quiet, steady hum. It doesn't need to scream. It is found in the decision to get out of bed when your heart is heavy. It is found in the decision to be honest when a lie would be easier. It is found in the persistent belief that your life still has meaning, even when the current chapter is painful. Do not judge your progress by how you feel. Judge it by the fact that you are still moving. The silence of God is often the loudest call to action you will ever receive. It is an invitation to stop seeking external validation and to start cultivating internal authority. Your power does not come from the absence of struggle. It comes from the mastery of it. When the storm is howling and it seems like the boat is sinking, remember that the master of the sea is not the one who stops the wind, but the one who knows the wind cannot sink a ship that is filled with light. Create a purpose for today, just for today. Maybe your purpose is to show one person a small kindness. Maybe your purpose is to finish a task you've been avoiding. These small wins create a momentum that the darkness cannot stop. Darkness is not an entity. It is merely the absence of light. When you create purpose, you are striking a match. Recall your faith, not the faith of easy Sundays, but the faith of the trenches. The faith that says, I do not see the path, but I trust my feet. The faith that understands that every no from the world is a not this way from the divine, leading you toward a yes you haven't yet imagined. You are a repository of infinite resilience. You have survived 100% of your hardest days. Your track record is perfect. The void is where creation happens. In the beginning, there was darkness over the face of the deep. It was out of that darkness that the world was spoken into existence. If you are in the dark right now, it means you are in the prime environment for a new creation. What will you speak into your life? Will you speak defeat, or will you speak a new beginning? Inner strength is not the absence of tears. It is the ability to cry and then continue. It is the courage to admit you are hurting and then find one reason to be grateful. It is the capacity to look at the rubble of your life and see the bricks for a new foundation. We are built of stars and dust, of ancient history and future potential. You are a miracle in motion, even when you feel stuck. As you navigate this difficult time, do not ask why this is happening to you. Ask what this is calling out of you. Is it calling for more patience, more courage, a deeper sense of self-worth? Whatever it is, answer the call. You are being refined. The gold does not fear the fire. It is the fire that makes it gold. There is a law in nature that nothing stays the same. The seasons change, the tides turn, and the moon waxes and wanes. Your current situation is a season, not a sentence. The strength you are building now will be the resource you use to help others when their season of darkness arrives. You are gaining an authority that only comes through suffering. One day, someone will look at you and ask, "How did you make it through?" And you will be able to look them in the eye and give them the map. Remember the stars. You can only see them when the sun goes down. The deeper the night, the brighter they shine. Your qualities, your kindness, your grit, your vision are the stars of your soul. They are most visible right now, in the middle of your struggle. Don't look at the darkness. Look at how brightly you are shining in spite of it. Your faith is a living thing. It needs the soil of adversity to grow deep roots. If everything were easy, your faith would be shallow. But when the winds blow and the ground shakes, your faith is forced to go deeper into the bedrock of your soul. This is where you find the unshakable part of yourself. This is where you find the God that lives within the silence. Walk forward today with the quiet confidence of someone who knows the ending of the story. The ending is not defeat. The ending is a version of you so strong, so compassionate, and so filled with purpose that the version of you today wouldn't even recognize them. Hold on. Breathe. Remember who you are. The silence is ending, and your song is about to begin. Even in the deepest shadow, there is a light that never goes out. It is the spark of the divine within you, waiting for your breath to turn it into a flame. You are never as alone as you feel, and you are far more powerful than you know. Trust the process, cherish your soul, and keep walking, for the dawn is already on its way to meet you. If you love this story and want to hear more like it, please hit that subscribe button. It truly means the world to us and helps us grow. And hey, while you're at it, let's aim for 50 likes on this video. Help us smash that goal.